Hello there everybody and welcome back to SOMA. In the last video we took the climber down into the abyss and we are now going to have to walk by foot over to Tau through this horrible, dark, murky mess. You know, I'm not afraid of the dark or anything like that, but for some reason this area just seems like the absolutely most terrifying thing because we're underwater. We can't call anybody for help. We can't plug Catherine in anywhere. And no sunlight reaches down here. There's all sorts of horrible killer fish. It's just awful all around. Awful, awful, awful.
Tau? Come in, Tau. Please answer, Tau. Nothing. It's dead.
Let's move out. We'll try the next one.
So that was obviously the ARC team trying to get a hold of Tau when they came down off of the climber. Now there is a corpse over here somewhere. It's nearby. Where is it? It's very easy to miss because there's not very much left of this guy. Is it over there? I think it might be over there. Let me look in here first. I don't think this little area has anything special, but you will want to pull that switch because it lights the area up a little bit more. And lights are very, very, very important down here because you have such limited visibility. You can also see some of these fish swimming around. Warning. Fault line activity, strong torrents expected. Oh boy. Well, that's good to know. So it looks like we're at the climber station right now, and we have two little resting places before we get to Tau. And then from Tau, we have to also walk from Tau to Phi. Oh boy. Sounds like a fun time to me. So yeah, the corpse I mentioned. The best way to find it is by looking at the glow stick on the ground here, but yeah, not much left of this guy. It's just a helmet, a leg, and a partial torso.
Jesus, did you see that?
Stick to the lamplights, they won't go near them.
I can't fail, Glasser. It's important I reach Omicron. Our future depends on it.
Calm down. Let's just follow the path.
If I die, I need you to tell Julia Dahl that the WoW is out of control. She needs to get to Sarang. He'll know what to do.
Raj, you can tell them yourself. We just need to pick up the pace, okay?
Glass! We lost the path! We need to go back!
I know where to go. Come on.
It's over there! The light is over there!
Final push, Raj. Almost there. We just...
And that is exactly what I was afraid of, getting eaten by something down here, which is, I'm fairly positive that's what got this guy. And it's also interesting to note that we heard the human Johann Ross in that recording, which is kind of cool, because we've only seen him as a freaky WoW monster. And that's really all there is to note in that area. Now, before you continue on, you're going to want to look at this panel here. If you switch this on, it will light the way, and we can follow the blue lights all the way to Tau, which is a very clever system, actually, to stop you from getting lost down here, is to color code things. And it's about 700 meters to Tau, it looks like. So this is really cool, because they have blue lights on one side, and they have red lights on the other. I like it. Still very, very hard to see down here, but it's just gonna be barely enough to guide us through the abyss here. And you'll want to make sure that you stay close to the lights, because there are things like that out there that will kill you if you venture out into the abyss. I have no idea why you would want to do that. There's absolutely nothing to see out there, and that seems like the worst idea ever. But yeah, just stick to the lights and you'll be just fine. I think this panel here, we don't really need to look at this. I think this is just research and whatnot. This is just observation of different kinds of fish and wildlife. So this is basically how fish have been affected by the WOW and also by the impact event as well. I'm fairly sure has a little bit to do with the way that these creatures are reacting, but you can see in this log it's saying that the specimen is affected by leaking structure gel, which is making it sensitive to light and also kind of cannibalistic in a way as well. That looks like a anglerfish, a really angry anglerfish. This creatures disfigured by the gel are manic and will attack anything. Still hard to determine how WOW has affected their behavior beyond their apparent aggression and affinity with light. The creature seems to hunt something particular, something not present in the ecosystem. So yeah, that's basically just, hey, watch out for the fish. Don't let it get you. And then you kind of lose the path a little bit here. It's not extremely obvious, so what you want to do is kind of follow your way around the back of this area. You'll find a little glow stick here. And then in the distance you'll be able to see some lights. Now, even though you're traversing into some dark space, don't worry, you will be safe until you get to the lights. It's kind of freaky. It freaked me out. I thought, oh god, am I gonna get swallowed in between the lights? But no, we're all good. And I think those red lights in the distance are probably Tau, which means we're getting closer and closer. I hope. I can't even imagine how Simon feels right now. Like I said, this is just awful. I also don't know why there's sounds of like electricity down here, as if there's like a electrical storm or something like that. I'm not an oceanographer. I don't know. Oh, crap. Fishies. Those can hurt you, by the way, as they pass by. So just be careful if you hear them. But yeah, I'm not an oceanographer. I don't know anything about the ocean or how any of that works, but would there be like electrical storms or like electromagnetism or anything like that deep down into, this far down? I don't know if it's electricity or if it's like thunder, because it kind of sounds like thunder, or if it's just the debris and stuff like that crashing against rocks and things like that. I don't know. But it really freaks you out, and it really just gives you that extra feeling of being incredibly secluded. It's that horrible feeling of solitude, for sure. So then we'll come into our next building here. There's a little healing spot if you need it. More or less if you took damage from any of those fish passing by.
Tau, can you hear this? Anyone there?
This is Tau. Who is this?
This is Ian Peterson of Theta calling. I got a team with me, and we're about half a kilometer from Tau.
What? How did... You came in the climber?
Listen, we're having a really hard time with this sector. Heavy turbulence is making it difficult to move forward, and the wildlife you got is absolutely rabid.
The storm comes and goes. The instruments show the weather is relatively fair right now. You should move out as soon as possible. Stick to the lights. The critters should leave you alone.
All right, you heard the man. We're moving out, people. Tau, keep the doors unlocked. We're coming in.
So it's good to know that they eventually got in contact with Tau. It probably means that they made it all the way there, which is great. Go ahead and flip this switch, which will power up the garage area, which we're gonna need, because there are no usable lights from this point on. So the best thing we're gonna be doing is taking a robot with us who has lights, which is just fantastic. And we're going to program him to take us over to Tau. So if you select Tau, it'll kind of load directions into the robot, I guess. It will tell him that that's where we're going, and we just follow him. Now, it's kind of random as to what robot you get. I know the first time I played this, I actually got that super adorable little helper robot that we saw earlier on in the game, but now I have like a bigger model of robot, and I actually think that this model's a lot easier to follow. It has a bigger light, which is actually kind of nice. Again, very, very dark to see. You're just gonna want to... Oh, hey, what's up? You're gonna want to stay probably directly under the robot so you can follow its light. Don't lag too far behind. There are lights in front and behind, but just to be safe, make sure you stay very close to it. Aww, and then unfortunately our little buddy gets eaten by that asshole fish. But not before he manages to guide us to an area with some lights. Hallelujah. I can't wait to be back indoors so I can actually see where the hell I'm going. I can see my hands in front of my face. And I also hope that there's no arachnophobics watching. You might want to close your eyes if you're scared of spiders, because there's an awful lot of spiders in here. But they won't hurt you. They're just hanging out in this cave. There's multiple ways to go in this cave. You just want to try and find the glow sticks, if you can. It does loop around though, so if you get lost, just try another path. And you'll come out the other side. Now, that white light in the distance is a trap. That is an anglerfish. I think that's what those fish are called. The ones that have the little lights on their heads. Yeah, that's a trap. So all you have to do is just kind of go around him. He won't follow you. If you just ignore him and you stick to the blue lights, our handy blue lights, that will take us to Tao. You'll be fine. And you can see that the further and further you go on, the harder and harder it is to see. You can just barely see the next light in front of you. I really hope we get to Tao soon, because this storm is becoming really, really bad. Yeah, the bottom of the ocean is some scary shit. There's probably reasons that, you know, humans aren't meant to go down as far as this. At least when the ARC team went, there was a group of them together. Simon's all by himself. But we are almost here, actually. It's right in front of us. Look at that. Hey, we got a big friendly door. Oh, thank God. Let me in, please. I need to come in. Oh, beautiful. Thank you. Get me the hell off that ocean floor. So not too bad. You're really not in any risk of danger out there unless you manage to stray off the beaten path, or if you manage to get hit by a group of those wandering fish. But I don't even think they can kill you. It's just very kind of spooky to be out there. I believe you'll also get an achievement when you first walk into Tao, after we traverse the abyss, and here we are.
Never been happier to be inside. Let's find the Ark.
Looks abandoned. This is the dive room with all of the suits, and it looks like all the suits have been taken out of here as well. Because I'd imagine it's the same situation as Omicron. I mean, these guys would have had to have their own suits as well so that they could go out onto the surface to get to and from the climber. There is one active suit inside of Tau. Well, that's just lovely. I'm gonna guess by this structure gel that a suit being active in this area is definitely not a good thing. You can see that it was last accessed in April of 2104 by a J. Yoshida. And if we're tracking the suits once again, there appears to be one suit at Omicron, one at the climber station, and at least one at Tau. I'm assuming the climber station was that corpse that we found. Not quite sure why there would still be a diver suit at Omicron. It's probably not updated tracking. It probably doesn't track us as we've moved from Omicron, which would make sense. So this area right here is safe at the moment. Can't go in that door. I think there's a couple doors we can go into. Service station. Which I don't actually think has anything in it. It looks like they were just doing some robot manufacturing or something. But this robot doesn't have anyone's scan inside of it, thank God. Oh. Hello? 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 Who's there? Who's knocking at the door? Oh. I think that's just Johan. I think we're okay still. We are going to be running into a monster, but I don't think we're going to be running into him until I open up a certain door. So I would actually recommend leaving these doors open, because it might work to your advantage later. Like I said, there's really nothing in here. But as soon as we open up the big pressurized door, we might be getting ourselves into some trouble. So leaving these doors open may give you an advantage if you need to backpedal. But I think before we open that big scary door, we're going to call it here. Since we've only just arrived in Tau and there's a lot for us to do. So thank you all so very much for watching, and I will see you next time.